Okay, so this video is for installing BMW Eldor coils on my E46 M3, and I would like to show you also how to read the codes. I'm not having misfire codes right now, but on cold starts I do get sometimes some misfire counters. So we're gonna see in this video how to do the basic installation of the BMW Eldor coils for the S54 engine. There is my Cayman GT4 981 2016 first generation, the real deal, not the new ones with the filters, pollution filters and all the crap that makes it sound awful in my opinion. But yeah, we'll get started on this project for the E46 M3. Okay, so we are now in the car. We got the Foxwell NT510 scanner on the OBD2 connector, and it's got the the BMW and Porsche functions for checking codes and troubleshooting check engine lights. So let's read the codes on my car now. So we select BMW, you got the option for BMW Mini or Rolls-Royce. We go with BMW, and we do also, I hope that it can be picked up in the camera, automatic selection. So it's gonna check what's the VIN number. It says N54 manual US, February of 2001. Now we select OK with the F1 button. It says communicating and loading data. Okay, we can do auto scan or select individual control units. We're gonna do control units, and we select drive and engine. And we can pull the codes. So no codes stored on the engine. We will do the coils installation, and then after that we will check again for codes. Okay, to install the coils, it is a fairly simple process. Here is the cover, which is just a plastic cover to protect the wires and the coils and the electrical wires in or electrical components inside cover. So in order to remove this, we first need to get this uninstall or remove this cabin air filter housing. So for removing the cabin air filter housing, there are three clips, or kind of clips, push pins, whatever you want to call this. So you remove those from there. Take this cover out, and then there you have the cabin air filter. You carefully put this on the side and continue removing the filter housing. That is my cabin filter, and is very dirty. It is due for replacement. But these are very cheap and very easy to replace. Put it on the side. To remove the cabin air filter housing, there are some, I think, T25 screws that you need to remove. You can see them there. Right, once you remove all 4 screws, then you need to also disassemble this cable tray. Take this cable tray and remove the wires. Okay, and we'll do that. Okay, so I will come back in the video once the housing is removed. Okay, so to remove the plastic cover, once you have removed the cabin air filter housing, so you have these 10 millimeter nuts. So the best to use is just regular ratchet and 10 millimeter deep socket. Okay, because there are some screws here a little bit hidden by the fan shroud, so it's better just to get the 10 millimeter sockets, deep socket for that work. So the other thing to remove is this plastic hose for the exhaust gases coming back into the air intake manifold. So just push get Okay, once the plastic cover is removed, you have access to the different coils from 1 through all the way down to 6. And so the next thing to do is you need to put this plastic protected cover to the side. It's got a couple clips that you need to remove, and once you get the clips removed, you can basically put it on the side. You can take it up all the way up there, or you can just put it here slightly off so that you can actually start to loosen and remove your coils. In videos where people is doing vanos work, valve adjustments, they tend to take out connectors for the oxygen sensors and whatnot, and to be honest, I've done it in the past where the only thing that you do is that you lift this all the way up, you attach that with a tie wrap to the hose for the windshield water up here, and then you have enough room to do the work, and even to take off the valve cover. This is your actual valve cover. These are the I think 10 millimeters bolts that you need to remove in order to take the valve cover out. On the same note, if you are doing a valve cover gasket replacement, I would recommend using the BMW OEM gasket. If you use the OEMs, the cheap ones, L-rings or whatnot, you will have some leaking issues over time. I just replaced mine like a couple months ago, and it's been perfect, no leaking whatsoever. And there is no need for a gasket maker. The gasket maker is only needed in some areas like these vanos connecting areas where you have some crevices that you need to use some gasket maker, sorry. And also in the house mounts all the way in the back. So to remove the coils, procedure is simple. You lift here, that will push, well, theory. Let me put this back. Okay, you need to press in here and tight push so that the wire or the electrical connector pulls away from the coil. Okay, so the procedure to remove the coils is once you undo this electrical connector. So this is your connector that plugs into the coil itself. Then you get a flat, well, not a flat, whatever screwdriver you can get. You put it, you put it on the coil and try to pull up, and that way you can undo your coil. Let's see if we can take it, we can get it on cam. Now trying to set it up. Let's see if we can see. Process, 2 hands, pull, and then that is your coil coming out. So these are the Bosch coils that I'm replacing with the Eldor coils. Okay, so I'm going to do all the coils replacement. I'm not gonna change, or I'm not gonna do the spark plugs. I'm just gonna do the coils. I'm gonna install the new coils and then run the engine, give it a try, see the misfire counter, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm halfway through the installation process, and this is one of the Eldor coils. It's difficult to pick up in the camera the Eldor labeling. These are genuine BMW coils, Eldor coils. They are actually heavier than the Bosch. These are the Bosch that I had before, and they are the build quality is better. It's a heavier coil, more stud, and you notice that also it sits better once you get it down to the spark plug. So I just wanted to show that to you guys. It's actually thicker here. Is this metal shield sleeve, whatever, and it's just without having a scale, is actually heavier than the Bosch or the previous styles, Bremis or whatever BMW had in the past. Okay, so I finished installing all the coils. There is a difference between this and the Bosch or the previous generation. Is this small yellow dot in there? I don't know is what kind of reference is that, but the previous Bosches don't have that. So what I'm gonna do is instead of putting everything back together, which isn't much, it's just the air coming filter housing and the plastic cover back on, I'm just gonna run the engine, see how these new coils how they perform. Just probably gonna try to check the misfire counter with the scanner tool, just to see how that works. Okay, so I'm here inside the car. I have the scanner tool, and inside the engine reading option, you have this for this scanner, you have this number 4 live data option that you can select, and then the first option in the menu is misfire counter, which you can select, and then select all the cylinders, view data, and you can see the counters. Of course, the car is not running right now, where I'm going to start the engine and see how these counters, if they increase. Of course, I think you're gonna always have 1 or 2 counts every now and then, but let's see how it goes with the new coils. So there is one count on cylinder 3. And cylinder 4. It's rather holding pretty good right now. So the engine is not shaking or anything, and of course, you know, it needs the ECU needs to adapt now to, you know, the conditions of the new coil. You know, but so far the counters are staying there. I think it looks pretty good. It's actually coming down from 1,000 RPM down to 850, which is what kind of 850, 820, kind of where the normal idle RPM for this engine is, and it's looking pretty good. Now I want to show you something else on this scanner, which is really nice on the live data, and is this option for basic quantities. People, you know, when you have an idle issue, some other issue there, and you want to troubleshoot your, let's say, air mass flow sensor, this option is really neat because let me clear all and just I think if I do enter, you just select that option. So that one, that read there is what is your air mass flow in actual flow units, kilograms per hour. And this is really neat because when you have a bad sensor, right, so the reading is way off. It's gonna be 30, 40, whatever it is. And normally at idle, what I notice with my car is that it runs around between 15 and 16, you know, depending on conditions, temperature, engine temperature, ambient temperature, and some other factors. So I wanted to show you that as well, if you are doing some troubleshooting. But let me tell you, so far so good. Engine is coming up to temperature really nice. It's been really quiet and smooth. I think the Eldor coils are actually doing a way better job than the Bosch. The Bosch, I had them, the car is right now 107,000 miles on this engine, and I think I put the Bosch when the engine was like 70,000. So almost 40,000 miles on the Bosch's, but I think these are far better coils, and that's the reason that why it's also being used in the, you know, twin turbo engines, BMW, the N55, and all these new generations of engines. So far so good. I think it's time to put everything back together and then probably give it a test drive. Take the car out in the road. Okay, so we are now in the reassembly process, which is, you know, again, fairly simple. But the one thing is these nuts They are torqued in a very low spec. It's only 89 inches pounds, which is like 10 newton meters. Okay. If you don't have a torque range for low torque values, I would say just hand tie them the nuts. I mean, don't get crazy, otherwise you will break it, right? And this is, just a protecting cover. This doesn't do any other, let's say, function, right? And do a crisscross pattern. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that it sits and is flush down to the valve cover itself. So that's all for reassembling. It's just getting these nuts tightened, putting back your air coming filter, and enjoy the new coils. Okay, so that's it for the installation. Basically putting everything back together, and car is pretty much ready to go. Just wanted to add, so I have the E46 air intake, which gives the car a nice, really nice air intake induction sound. That's a proper word. And if you are doing installation of the E46 air intake, of course, other than checking that you are doing the right orientation, you gotta give some clearance here for the air mass, the MAF, or the air mass flow sensor, to hook up the electrical connector back again. So the critical part, I would say, on the E46 air intake is this elbow in the back. So don't line up everything here in the front until you get the elbow properly sealed with the gasket in the back. Otherwise, you are going to run into issues like having lean or rich coats. Okay, it happened to me. Now I'm running the V2 or the newest generation of the filter, which is a little different in the inside, and also I got the newest MAF tube. They call this the MAF tube. It's a newer version that has got actually better screws. These screws here, they secure the MAF connector, electrical connector, better than the previous generation. But that's another tip. If you are planning to do your E46 air intake conversion, just be sure that this clamp sits all the way flush, as underneath, the same way as the OEM box will do. That's another tip. And always, after finishing your installation, it'll be good to do clearing your adaptations, so that the ECU starts on a fresh set of values. Additional to the E46 air intake, I'm running the Evolve remap, and what I've noticed from the remap is that the engine has got better torque between 3000 and 4000 RPMs, and also that the engine between 7000 and 8000, it pulls harder than with the stock ECU settings. So with the stock ECU settings and without the E46 air intake, the engine will run really happy to 6500, 7000 RPMs, and then from that on it will be like, okay, better, do an upshift and don't push me, because I'm not feeling happy with the Venturi air intake and the Evolve remap. The engine pushes really hard to 8,000 RPMs. So that's it for this video. I hope that you like it.